And we are back. NFL Week 15 predictions. I went 8-5 last week, making my total 139.69. The games I did get wrong were the Chargers Chiefs, the Bills Rams, the Bears 49ers, the Seahawks Cardinals, and the Jaguars Titans. Let's get it. Starting out, Week 15, 8:15 p.m. tomorrow, December 12th. All games in Eastern Standard Time. We have the 7-6 Rams at the 6-7 49ers. Both these teams coming off of really impressive wins. The Rams winning in a shootout versus the Bills 44-42, while the 49ers winning in dominating fashion 38-13 against the Bears. And this is a huge game for both teams because the 49ers are legit on like their last legs in terms of making the playoffs, while the Rams need that little extra help in order to get in. And I do have the Rams winning this game because they just have a bit more in their favor. I feel like it would mean a lot more for them to win this game and, help their playoff cause rather than the 49ers who would just stay in it for an extra week. So, yeah. Moving on to our 1 o'clock games, December 15th. Commanders 8-5 who had a bye week at the Saints 5-8 who won 14-11 against the Giants. Now, the cool thing for the Saints is they were my lock of the week, which I am now 12-2 in after that, so yeah. But they also did lose Derek Carr for the season, more than likely, assuming they don't make the playoffs, which at 5-8, they're going to need a miracle too. They have an even more outside chance than the 49ers. But I do think the Commanders are going to win this game. Coming off the bye week, going against a weak team with a backup quarterback, give me the Commanders. Chiefs, Browns, do we really have to talk about this? The Chiefs 12-1, they won yet again with their magic. While the Browns 3-10, they lost to the Steelers 27-14. The Chiefs, by the way, won 19-17 against the Chargers to win their division. Now, the Chiefs are going to win this game because the Browns are eliminated. The Chiefs have clinched their division. They're getting super close to clinching the conference. It would just make sense for the Browns to lose and the Chiefs to win, so that's what we're going to go with. And there's going to be no other explanation about it. Next, we have the Bengals, who are 5-8, coming off of a 27-20 win over the Cowboys, while the Titans, 3-10, coming off of a 10-6 loss to the Jaguars. Now, I do think the Bengals are going to win this game, mainly because the Titans lost their game to the Jaguars, but put up 6 points, and the Jaguars scored 10 and had a backup quarterback. So, shows how bad the Titans are. However, there are a few things going in their favor. They do have the Bengals' former offensive coordinator as the head coach, and they do have Tyler Boyd, the former wide receiver for the Bengals, as a wide receiver. So, maybe they pull off an upset because of that. However, I'm not expecting it, so give me the Bengals. Dolphins-Texans, Dolphins 6-7, coming off of a pretty good win, 32-26 against the Jets in overtime. And the Texans 8-5, coming off of a bye week. Now, the key thing to note is the Texans have almost wrapped up their playoff spot. If they win and the Colts lose this week, they are in. Not only are they in, but they win their division in. And then with the Dolphins, they need a lot of help to get in, and it would start with a win over the Texans, which I do think they will get because the Texans have not looked like the greatest team this year, even with their record. I honestly prefer their team last year, so I'm going to take the Dolphins. Next, we have the Ravens-Giants. We're going to skim through this. The Ravens 8-5 had a bye week. Giants 2-11. They lost to the Saints. They're 2-11. They're eliminated. Give me the Ravens. It makes sense for the same thing. Chiefs-Browns. One team benefits from winning. The other team benefits from losing. So we're going to go with that obvious outcome. Give me the Ravens. Jets-Jaguars. This is a huge game. Both teams 3-10. The Jets losing 32-26 in overtime to the Dolphins, while the Jaguars winning 10-6 to the Titans. Both teams eliminated, and both teams hold a really great pick in this draft. Whoever loses this game is going to have a huge benefit, not only because it will give them another loss, but they would have the tiebreaker over the other team. So if they were to happen to win an extra game, even if they finish with the same record, it would go to them. So I'm going to take the Jets to win because the Jets have looked better than the Jaguars this season, and it would not surprise me. So give me the Jets. Final 1 o'clock game, we have the Cowboys, who are 5-8, coming off of a 27-20 loss to the Bengals, while we have the Panthers, who are 3-10, coming off of a 22-16 loss to the Eagles. I think it's about time the Panthers get a win. They've barely lost to teams like the Eagles and Chiefs in the past few weeks. It's about time they get their win, and they're going to get it against the Cowboys because it wouldn't make sense. The Panthers are eliminated. The Cowboys are eliminated but aren't. They still are in. It's just a very outside chance. I'm just going to take the Panthers to end their misery now. Moving on to 425 games, we have a few of them. Starting out, Buccaneers, who are 7-6 with a win over the Raiders, while the Chargers 8-5 having a loss to the Chiefs. This is a huge game for both sides because the Chargers, with a win, would pretty much all but lock them into the playoffs. They would need to royally mess up in order to miss it. While the Buccaneers, they're fighting for a lot more as they are winning their division. But if they lose their game, the Falcons have the tiebreaker. So, the Falcons only half a game behind. You have to be careful about that because the issue with the Buccaneers is they would be out of the playoffs, if they weren't winning their division. Their 7-6 record is worse than all three of the other teams who aren't winning their division. So if it was not for that automatic playoff spot for winning your division, the Buccaneers would not be in. With that being said, I'm going with the Chargers because the Chargers have looked much better than the Buccaneers health-wise, even with suffering injuries to guys like J.K. Dobbins and players like that. The Buccaneers are going to be, really injured, and I think it will be a great game, and I do think the Buccaneers will keep it close, but the Chargers will pull away in the end. Next, we have the 6-7 Colts, who had a bye week, at the 8-5 Broncos, who had a bye week, so no real information. The key things to note is with a win here, I believe the Broncos would either clinch their playoff spot or would be just short. And with the Colts, if they were to win, it would make the playoffs a whole lot interesting because it would become a situation like the Buccaneers-Falcons where, the Broncos would only be a game ahead, or half a game ahead from the Colts. And the Colts have the easiest schedule remaining, and that's including this game. So imagine how easy it'd be without going against them. I do think the Colts will somehow find a way to win this game and make it that much more interesting because the Broncos are going to have a tough time having to go against the Chiefs and Chargers still once this season. So, yeah. Next, we have Patriots-Cardinals. Patriots 3-10 at Cardinals 6-7. Patriots were on a bye week while the Cardinals lost 30-18 to the Seahawks. And what sucks for the Cardinals is a few weeks ago, we were talking about them winning their division and having a pretty good season in the playoffs and having a home game. Now we're talking about they needing a miracle just to make the playoffs. It's crazy how the NFL can change in just a matter of weeks, honestly, a week. I do believe the Cardinals will win this game because the Patriots are eliminated. It would really only benefit the Patriots to lose this game, while the Cardinals, they're going to hold on to that outside hope, I feel like. So give me the Cardinals. Next, we have the Bills and the Lions. The Bills 10-3 at the Lions 12-1. This is a huge one. The Bills actually lost 44-42 to the Rams, while the Lions won 34-31 against the Packers. So two teams putting up a lot of points in high-scoring games, but one ended with a win, the other ended with a loss. I don't know why. I feel like the Bills are going to win this game. After seeing what they did the last week, I feel like they will win this game. After seeing what the Lions did, I do think it will be a very close game. However, and I do think it will kind of mimic that Bills-Rams game. However, I do think it will land in the Bills' favor this time. So, go on, Bills. I mean, if anyone can beat the Lions left on their schedule, it's you guys. So, yeah. Final one is the Steelers, who are 10-3 at Eagles, who are 11-2. The Steelers ended up winning against the Browns 27-14, while the Eagles won 22-16 against the Panthers. This is another huge game because both these teams obviously very high records. Same thing as the Bills Lions in terms of fighting for, seeding in the playoffs. You're pretty much all but in. It's going to be huge for that matter. And I do think the Eagles will win this game because I do like the Eagles a lot better. Now, granted, I do think the Eagles are a way weaker team when they are having a bad day compared to the Steelers. So if the Eagles have a bad day, expect the Steelers even have a bad. If both teams have a bad day, I'm taking the Steelers. If both teams have a good day, I'm taking the Eagles. With that being said, it's legit a flip of a coin. I'm taking the Eagles. But that game should be electric. Sunday Night Football, we have the Packers and Seahawks. The Packers 9-4 lost 34-31 to the Lions, while the Seahawks 8-5 won 30-18 to the Cardinals. This game is huge for both teams because, one, the Packers, they still have a chance at their division. However, it is such a long shot that I'm not even going to mention it. They're fighting for seeding as, they're the 6th seed. They could pass the Vikings. They could get passed by teams like the Commanders or Rams. So they aren't even in yet. They still have, stuff to worry about. While the Seahawks are fighting for their division as they are currently winning it. However, the Rams do have the tiebreaker over them, so the Seahawks have to keep winning in order to keep the Rams at bay. I am going to take the Packers in this game. However, with these two teams, history, this is one of the biggest non-division rivalries in football. I would not be surprised to see the Seahawks win. I think this will be an amazing game, not only game-wise, but, the bad blood between the two. Monday Night Football. We have two of them. The first one being the 4-9 Bears at the 11-2 Vikings. The Bears lost 38-13 to the 49ers, while the Vikings won 42-21 against the Falcons. This is a huge game for the Vikings and Bears because the Bears somehow still in the playoffs. A loss would all but end that. And the Vikings fighting for their, one division and two their seeding. So I'm going to take the Vikings because I think they have a lot more to play for. It's kind of the same thing as other ones I've mentioned, Chiefs, Browns, games like that, where it benefits one team winning and it benefits the other losing. So we're just going to go with that matchup. Finally, we have the Falcons and Raiders. Falcons 6-7 coming off of a loss, 42-21 to the Vikings, while the Raiders ended up losing 27-13 to the Buccaneers. Now, I think this will be surprisingly a good game, even though the Raiders are going to be down now. Their top two starting quarterbacks. The Falcons have found a way to make games interesting, whether it benefits them or not. I do think the Falcons will win this game. And save the best for last as well, I guess, because I'm taking the Falcons as my lock of the week. It's been a while since I've had to say that, having to make short versions due to being sick the past 2 times, but here we are. If you don't know what lock of the week is, every week I'm allowed to pick one team and one team only to win the game. If they do, great. If not, not so great. Hence the 12-2 record. The only catch is I'm only allowed to pick each team once, so I have to be very careful if I want to waste all the good teams or if I want to bounce the bad teams. We're going to take the Falcons off the board. In a very favorable matchup for them, give me the Falcons. With that being said, we're going to quickly go over a few things. The first being the recap. The teams I have winning are the Rams, Commanders, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens, Jets, Panthers, Chargers, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, Falcons, all winning their games, with the Falcons being my lock of the week. If I did not say your team, unfortunately, it means they are losing as there are no more bye weeks. We are past that point of the season. We are at the end game. To quickly talk about the playoff picture, starting out at the 1 seed would be the Chiefs and Lions, both representing a 12-1 record. 2 seeds being the Bills and Eagles at 10-3 and 11-2. They would go against the 7 seeded Broncos at 8-5 and Commanders who are 8-5. The 3 seeds being the Steelers who are 10-3 and Seahawks who are 8-5, going against the 6 seeded Chargers 8-5 and Packers 9-4. And the 4 seeds being the Texans 8-5, Buccaneers 7-6, going against the 5 seeded Ravens 8-5 and Vikings 11-2. You can really tell, which conference is are like. You have the division winners and then the rest, and then you have the chaos one. For teams who have clinched a playoff spot, we do have a few. We have, starting out in the NFC, the Lions, who are 12-1, have clinched a playoff spot. The Eagles, who are 11-2, have clinched a playoff spot. That's it. Now in the AFC, it's a bit different, as we have the Buffalo Bills at the 2 seed, 10-3, have clinched both a playoff spot and their division, so they are no matter what playing a home game. Same with the Chiefs, who are 12-1. They are going to confirm play a home game. They have won both. They have clinched both a playoff spot and the division. No one else. There's only the 4 teams so far. Now for teams who are eliminated, there's a bit more. Starting in the AFC, we have the Browns, who are 3-10. We have the Jaguars, who are 3-10. The Titans, who are 3-10. The Jets, who are 3-10. The Patriots, who are 3-10. And the Raiders, who are 2-11. All those teams are out. Looking in the NFC, all we have is the 2-11 Giants. They are the only team eliminated, so you can really tell that, yes, even though the NFC has better records, there are still somehow way more teams alive. With that being said, that is going to do it. We'll actually talk about a bit more before I end it, actually. Obviously, I talked about the teams in the playoff picture. The teams in the hunt in the AFC are the 6-7 Colts, 6-7 Dolphins, and 5-8 Bengals. In the NFC, it's legit everyone who's not in the playoffs, and then not the Giants. So everyone's still alive in that division, it feels like, except obviously the Giants. But that is going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. I'll see you guys next time, which should be Rams franchise. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.